Hello, this is Manesh Patel from ichimokutrade.com. Today is February 17, 2013. It's our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the futures market. We're broadcasting live from Traders Expo out in New York today. Today's video, we're going to cover everything from crude oil, natural gas, commodity futures, sugar, bonds, and so forth. Is there a normal disclaimer to state this is for educational use only? We're not soliciting you to buy or sell any particular instrument. If you do so, you're doing that at your own risk. Today's charts are going to be from TradeStation. Here's our contact details. You could call us at any of our office locations here, or you could email us at info@eiicapital.com, or you could basically go to our website, ichimokutrade.com, get access to our free videos, heat map, email alerts, and so forth. Okay, so let's go straight to the charts. Remember, left-hand side is basically a daily time frame. Right-hand side is basically the weekly time frame. First one you're looking at is soybean oil. The support basically held at 50.96 with 51. So that support held. The next thing to see is what's it going to do at the resistance level at 53.96. If this thing breaks 53.69, this thing is going to pretty much just sit there in a consolidation pattern where the top of the range will be about 58. If it breaks the 50.96, then it does have a possibility of retesting lows and possibly breaking that to go to the downside. So keep an eye on this one in the next couple of weeks, but nothing right now as far as the trade is concerned. Corn is kind of stuck between two levels right now. If you look at it, it's at it's about 700 is basically its support. Well, not even, yeah, I would say roughly around 696 is probably its major support level right there. Resistance right now is going to be basically around 716 on this one, but there's no trade right now. This thing is starting to set up for a bearish trade, but still got a lot of movement to make to start trying above the high, the weekly and the daily time frame. Cocoa here is continuing its trend to the downside. You could see here, we shrink this down. You could kind of see it's trying to get to support levels all the way down here to retest those pivot lows. And if you mark them up, it's kind of right here at 2062. So this thing's slowly making its move down to retest the lows. Crude oil. If you look at crude oil, really nothing going on right now. Resistance was 9,600. Support basically, 99. 99 is its resistance. Support is basically going to be 96. If you look at cotton, cotton's really not doing anything. Resistance is basically 85 is the major resistance. Minor one's going to be 83.46. Support on this one's going to be about 80.97 now. Let's go here. Dollar index, dollar futures. Resistance is basically going to be about 81, which it kind of sat there and got almost to. And support on this guy is going to be about 79.85. Okay. This is basically feeder cattle. Feeder cattle kind of broke the support at 142.52 and then came right back up. So that support's been holding at 142.52. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on this one. The resistance on this is 146.78. 5-year Treasury notes. If you look at 5-year Treasury notes here, really nothing going on. Resistance is 123.129. Support is going to be 123.20. Heating oil. Heating oil here, as you can see, it's been a nice little trendwood upwards. It's straight into resistance, kind of held that resistance level here. You could see it right here. Basically 3.25. 4 is a resistance level. Support on this one's going to be 3.111. Coffee is continuing its trend to the downside, so it's still moving cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Hopefully Starbucks will get a little cheaper too. Lumber here, you could see, is basically still trending to the top side, held its support at 344.95 and basically retesting the highs, and it's at a resistance level right now at 400. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. If it breaks that, then it's going to continue to move forward. Live cattle held its support basically at 130. Resistance on this guy is going to be 132. Lean hogs. If you look at lean hogs, basically held its support at 84. Resistance on this one's going to be about 86 is going to be the minor one. Major one's going to be 86.93. Natural gas, which I think everyone's looking at, is continuing to sit there and slowly trickle down. We've been talking about this one. Keep an eye on it. It's basically held its resistance level basically at 3.661, and basically it's going down to its minor support level, which is almost right here. But the thing looks like it wants to retest the lows, basically 3. Oats. Oats is really doing nothing except consolidating between a range of 387 and 336, so nothing really to talk about there at all. Orange juice, a lot of people have been talking about this one. I have no idea why. This thing's just sitting there ranging completely. Resistance on this one's 132. Support, minor support's 125.50. Major one's going to be 120.80. Platinum. This should be interesting. A lot of people have been looking at a lot of metals. Platinum held its resistance at 1750. Support on this one's going to be about 1631. Yes, it's actually 1669. It's going to be the minor support, major support it kind of held. Let's see, we've gone through that. Let's look at gasoline. Gasoline's moving higher and higher and higher. This has continued to its trend. Its thing took off with $2.70 and continues to keep on making its movement up. Rice, here you could see a big nice movement up. It's basically at a major support of 15.670. Resistance on this one's going to be 15.978. Soybeans, if you look at soybeans, really not doing anything at all, stuck between a support of 1400 and a resistance of 1566. Sugar, we've been telling you to watch this one for a while, and notice it's still trickling downwards. This is a great trade. Slowly, it's a slow, methodical trade, but it's slowly keep on going down. It's getting to 1687, which is kind of a support we're looking for. Resistance on this one is going to be minor 1853. Gold, mini gold futures, what everyone wanted to see. If you look at gold, it kind of broke down finally and broke a support level, which is right here, about 1540, 1532. Resistance on this one's going to be 1700. So it broke that level now. It's at a minor support level of 1600. And if it breaks that, then it does have a possibility of going retesting the lows of 1550. So keep an eye on that one for sure. Okay, this is soybean meal. Soybean meal is really not doing anything at all. Support is basically 405. Resistance is 463. 2-year treasury notes really not doing anything at all except consolidating. 10-year treasury notes really doing nothing at all. It's just sitting there hovering around. If you look at this, let's move this down. Resistance on this one's going to be 132.10 and support's going to be 131. 30-year treasury notes, nothing. This is not doing anything at all. It's major support level, which is roughly around 142. Resistance is going to be 146. Wheat. If you look at wheat, it held the support level of 736. Resistance on this guy is going to be about 761. And then silver. If you look at silver, if you notice, has not really broken its support. It's just now getting to support. It's at its support level right here at 2960. Resistance on this guy is going to be about 31. And lastly, copper. If you look at copper, held its resistance, been holding its resistance roughly about 3.826. Support on this guy is going to be 3.6960. Okay, and that's it for this week on the futures video. Hope you enjoyed it. I will speak to you next week.